In fact, if you recall, a whole lot of you attended the NVD this time also, as you do every year. We have prepared an entire collage around the common man of R.K. Lakshman to kind of explain and convey the ECI's ethos of how we perceive the elections. The terms of Assam is up to 31st May 2021. Number of assembly seats is 126. Please tell me if you don't catch me, I'll speak again. Term of Assam is 31st May 2021. Number of assembly seats is 126. Reserved seats SC 8, ST 16. Term of Tamil Nadu is 24th May 2021. Number of assembly seats 234. Reserved seats SC 44, ST 2. West Bengal term of assembly is up to 30th May 2021. Number of assembly seats is 294. SC seats are 68. ST seats are 16. Kerala, the term is up to 1st June. Number of assembly seats is 140. Reserved seats are 14 and for SC and 2 for ST. Puducherry, the term is up to 8th June. Number of assembly seats is 30. Reserved seats SC 5, ST nil. A total of 824 assembly constituencies shall be going for polls during these elections. 18.68 crore electors will cast vote at 2.7 lakh polling stations in these states and UT of Puducherry. More than 3 lakh service vote electors will be availing the facility of electronic transmitted postal ballot system, that is ETPBS. The special summary revision was held with respect to 1/1/21 as the qualifying date and the electoral roll published in January 2021 itself. Because we have reduced due to COVID, we used to have a polling station with maximum 1,500. Now we have made the qualifying thing to be 1,000. We have also ensured that all polling stations are on the ground floor. That is completely non-negotiable. So Assam, the polling stations in 2016 were 24,890. 2021, 33,530. Percentage increase in polling stations, 34.71. Tamil Nadu, we had 66,007 polling stations. Number of polling stations in 2021 are 88,936. Percentage increase is 34.73%. West Bengal, it was 77,413 in 16 and 1,01,916 now. The percentage increase is 31.65%. Sorry? 1,0916 and the percentage increase is 31.65%. Is it okay? Kerala, we had 21,498. Now we have 40,771. The percentage increase is 89.65 because the population is so dense. The density of population is so much. Puducherry is 930. Number of polling stations now is 1559. The increase is 67.63%. Why, my friends, I am trying to mention this is that this also means that much more polling personnel, that much more security personnel, because the norms for the polling personnel and the security personnel remain the same. And although we try that, our CEOs try that the auxiliary polling stations, as we call them, are near the original polling stations, so that we can kind of optimize on the utilization of manpower. You are all aware that after taking the inputs from several stakeholders, Commission had issued a set of guidelines for COVID in the context of COVID on 22nd August 2020. The inputs were taken from political parties as well as from our CEOs of all the states and UTs. We also mentioned in that whereas these guidelines are generally as per the NDMA guidelines and issued by Ministry of Home, but at the same time, as is mentioned in the MHA guidelines also, the states can make local variations and local changes, keeping in view their own milieu. However, this is the paradigm. We keep coordinating with the Ministry of Health and keep a very close watch on the health situation in the pole-bound states. The rollout of vaccination program has further contributed to a much more positive environment as compared to earlier, and probably is gradually boosting the confidence of people for coming elections. I am glad to report to you that on the recommendations of the Commission, Health Ministry has already declared all our poll officials as frontline workers for vaccination. And the Commission has taken a conscious decision that after all our frontline workers are vaccinated, then only in the headquarters it will start from the, let's say from the MTS, the helpers, and the Commission will get vaccinated in the end and not in the beginning. Elections by definition involve large gatherings of people at various stages of electoral activity, whether it is nomination or campaigning. It is of paramount importance, therefore, to mitigate the likely health impact and reduce chances of transmission among the people. Several steps have been taken to address the issues. You are aware of most of them, but I'll still report. On October 22nd October 29, as you are aware, on the recommendation of the Commission, the concept of absentee voters was introduced. Postal ballot facility had been extended as an option, I repeat, as an option, to senior citizens aged 80 years and above, persons with benchmark disability flagged in the electoral roll, and electors occupied or employed in essential services. For example, metros, all these things which the local CEO identifies in close coordination with the DEC of that area, and those notification is accordingly made. Nodal health officers are also appointed at the state district levels to ensure all related arrangements and preventive measures during the entire electoral process. A separate SOP is there for the COVID-19 patients, suspects, quarantined for their voting. That has already been issued by the Commission. Polling time has been uniformly increased. It was done in Bihar also. Again, also is being repeated by 1 hour. And the decision is taken by the local CEO in close consultation with the DEC concerned. Several processes and procedures have been made available online in order to minimize person-to-person contact and prevent congregation of large number of people. But that doesn't mean that those people cannot exercise cannot adopt offline procedure for those things. The number of persons accompanying a candidate for submission of nomination has been restricted to 2. And the number of vehicles is also restricted to 2. Candidates later on can also seek electoral certification digitally, besides filling the nomination form and affidavit online. And the printout submitted to the RO. But as I said, these rights can be accessed offline also. Security money can also be deposited on the online board. Door-to-door campaigning has been restricted to 5 persons, including the candidate. Road shows are allowed, subject to the convoy being broken after every 5 vehicles. Ultimately, it is for the district magistrates, called collectors, called deputy commissioners, and their police counterparts, SPs, deputy commissioners, commissioners, IGs, who have to kind of finally take a view from situation to situation. But as I said, broad guidelines are there. DOs shall identify, which they have already done, the available grounds for the meetings. And DOs have been instructed, COs have been instructed to print a list of those grounds district-wise in the English as well as vernacular papers, so that people are aware which grounds are available in which state. To the best of my knowledge, the CEOs have started doing it in their respective states. Otherwise, now that the announcement is made today, they will do it in the next 2-3 days. Adequate CAPF deployment shall be ensured during elections. All critical vulnerable polling stations have already been identified, and adequate numbers of CAPF will be deployed in such critical booths. Advanced teams are already deployed in these states and UTs. One day a news item came that some advanced teams have been sent only to West Bengal. Then we released a press release that they were in fact sent on the very day to all the 5 states. So it was not that the teams were sent only to West Bengal. So I don't know where it came from. In any case, you are aware that to ensure optimum use of CAPF, because wherever we go, we are told that the state administration, and this is uniformly said by the local representatives, that the state police, they do their own bit and they do not let the CPF go to the critical stations, etc. So we issued a circular dated 8th February 2021, which is already in the knowledge of all of you practically, but I'll Shifali request her that it should also be separately loaded on the website so that everybody can see it. That circular says that now there will be a committee comprising of CEO, State Police Nodal Officer and State CAPF Coordinator to jointly work out the election security plan and ensure randomization of the security personnel. Force deployment plans of states and UTs shall be vetted by special general and police observers. For district deployment plans, both general and police observers will have it. This will help in optimal and far more impartial use of CPFs in area domination, especially in the vulnerable areas and communities. Besides this, all other aspects of security management, including webcasting, CCTV footage, coverage and videography will be put in place. On 25th February 2021, Commission has directed by issuing a notification that arrangements for webcasting shall be done in all the critical polling stations and all polling stations in vulnerable areas, at least in the 50% such cases, including auxiliary polling stations, whichever is higher. I mean, if somebody can do 75, we should be too happy. If somebody can do 100, some of the CEOs did it, but 50% is the benchmark. It cannot be below 50%. You are also aware that ECI has had for some time time-tested and robust system in deploying central observers over and above the district observers, special central observers for depending on the sensitivity of a particular state for law and order and for expenditure, etc., etc. In fact, in Bihar elections and in earlier elections also in Maharashtra, in Gujarat, all these places we had deployed such observers and some of them did exceptionally well. In fact, one or two of them. Most of them are retired members of CBDT or CBIC. Also, some of them have been in investigation in their own postings for a very long time. And such observers, this time I would like to take out the name of observers. Assam, General Observer, Shri S. Srinivasan, Odisha, belongs to Odisha, Cadre Odisha, retired IAS from 80 batch. West Bengal, Shri Ajay Naik, 84 batch, retired. He used to be our CEO in Bihar and one of the best CEOs the Commission ever had. Not that we have dearth of them, but he was one of the best of the best. Kerala, we are still finding out a person. We just have 2-3 options, but you have to take their consent. In a day or so, that will also be done. Tamil Nadu, Alok Vardhanji, Bihar 86, retired. Puducherry, Manjeet Singh, 88, Rajasthan. IPS observers, Shri Ashok Kumarji, IPS UT, 89 batch for Assam. Shri Vivek Dubey, 81 for Bihar. You would recall that Shri Dubey was observer in West Bengal in the last parliament elections also. Shri M.K. Das, IPS 77 batch, retired. He was earlier observer in Manipur, in Tripura, and under very different circumstances, and he acquitted himself exceptionally well. Shri Deepak Mishra ji, IPS retired, AGMO cadre in Kerala. Shri Dharmendra Kumar ji, IPS retired, he was Special Commissioner in Delhi also, AGMO cadre. He is in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu. Shri Dharmendra Kumar is for Tamil Nadu. Kerala, I am telling you. Kerala, Shri Deepak Mishra. IPS retired from 84 AGMO. No. M.K. Das is West Bengal. Are you clear about IPS observers? Vivek Dubey, West Bengal. In fact, for West Bengal, we are having 2 special police observers. Shri Vivek Dubey, who was the special police observer in West Bengal during Lok Sabha. He is from Andhra Pradesh 81 batch. Shri Minal Kanti Das, M.K. Das.